Now, I'm very excited on the next edition of Isolation Interviews for Hospital Radio and for my YouTube channel. My guest is the fantastically talented Chesney Hawkes. So good to see you again. How are you?
I'm very well, Matt. Nice to see you too.
I was going to say it's been about a year since we last saw each other because I came and did an interview and we were in your parents' back garden, which was lovely.
Yes, that was really nice. It was a nice day as well, wasn't it?
Beautiful weather we had. As I say, it was lovely. We were just sat out on their balcony, and it was just a beautiful day, really.
Overlooking the river,
Perfect.
boats going by. It was a perfect, gorgeous summer's day in Chertsey.
And how time has changed, because obviously things are very different now. So how are you finding life? I mean, obviously you're out in LA. How are you finding life sort of stuck, really, not being able to do much?
Uh, well, to be quite honest, I've been, very productive and creative. I'm kind of putting the finishing touches on the album that we talked about before. It's given me a little bit of extra time because we were supposed to be putting it out about now. So I've been working on that, and I've created a little online show that I've been doing every other Friday. We've got one this Friday actually. And this week I've got Nick Kershaw as my special guest. And it's been quite fun because I've enjoyed the kind of intimacy and the kind of interactive nature of doing it on Zoom like we are now. Because even in smaller venues where I'm playing to 100 people or something like that, I still don't really get people up on stage and spotlight them. But doing these shows that I've been doing here has been really nice. I've been gifting tickets to NHS workers and key workers, and bringing them onto the show and letting them tell their story, which has been really emotional. And the people in the rest of the people watching have found it, really a lovely thing. So I kind of I feel like we've created something new here, which I hope to carry on.
I mean, obviously, everyone's having to kind of change what their sort of normal ways of doing things. I mean, obviously, I've been doing this interview online to kind of get myself still able to do things. But I mean, I imagine when you're doing music and you're having to kind of reach an audience online as opposed to going into a concert venue or something, it must take a bit of getting used to, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. What's funny about it is, for us entertainers, is that you don't get the instant, applause or reaction to a song or a joke you said or something like that. I mean, it must be more difficult for comedians, but you have to kind of imagine or at least kind of know in your head that they're enjoying it. That's something I've had. It's kind of a new muscle that I've had to kind of learn is, once you finish a song, it's like, oh, thank you very much. I mean, you can see them kind of,
But you can't hear anything.
but you can't hear a thing. But what I tend to do towards the end of our show, which is about an hour and a half show, is I make everybody take everybody off a mute, so I can hear everybody and feel the energy of everybody just kind of coming through, and that's really amazing. And get to because that makes it feel more like a real live show.
I mean,
Sorry, going
oh,
back
yeah.
to the show a little bit, just in case anybody is interested in coming to the show or nominating a hero, because basically that's the kind of a campaign I've been doing. I've been like, nominate your hero. And of course, you work in hospital radio. I'm sure that there's so many people out there that have got people that they would want to nominate. I've been getting people to write into us with their nominations, with the stories and why they want to nominate them, and then and I, get and those ones that come through, mainly all of them really, I've been gifting tickets. So if anybody's interested, just write to me at info@liveandunfiltered.com, and we will make sure that they get a ticket.
It must be quite nice to hear the stories and kind of see, hear about these people that you wouldn't otherwise necessarily get to know about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you hear about these people working day in, day out, where hours and hours a day, 24/7, and you see the pictures of them with the mask, marks on their face, and just putting their lives on the line for you. But what's been lovely is actually getting to meet them and hear their story. And I've been asking them, what can we do for you? and all those kind of questions. And it's actually lovely for them to have a platform to be able to actually, tell what's going on the front line. And some of these stories are really uplifting as well. It's been really great. Yeah, you should come along to the show.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, now obviously you get to work with all these people who, I imagine you've worked with them before, but it must be strange working with someone who you know really well, but in a different way. You're obviously doing it all kind of even there in a different place over
Yeah.
Zoom. So that must be quite strange as well.
Yeah, it is. And what's funny is for us musicians, everyone is trying to figure out a way where you could actually play live together on Zoom or Skype or whatever it is. But it's proving to be incredibly difficult. There's a couple of companies that are trying to work it out. There's one called Jam Kazam, but the trouble is, it's the internet has a delay. So it's like a latency. So if I'm playing and Nick's playing, for instance, it would just sound for you when it's broadcast out of time because he's hearing me and playing like a second afterwards. So it could never work like that. So most people who've been doing duets together have been kind of slightly cheating. I've got one with Nick that I'm doing. I'm going to be showing on the show on Friday, where I played my part, and then I sent it to him. So it's live. I played my part live. I sent it to him, and then he played his part live and sent it back to me, and then I put it together. So that's kind of, at the moment, that's the way we've been doing it. But I have been looking into it, and I think we're not far off of being able to do it. I mean, I know there actually are festivals where people are using this technology and playing live together as a band in 4 different locations, and everyone's playing in time. But I can't. It's difficult to get it together.
Now, I mean, obviously you're out in LA. How is everything in LA? I mean, how is the whole COVID situation? How are you finding getting around? Is it? Do you feel safe? Kind of moving around.
Well, it's been a particularly weird couple of weeks here in Los Angeles. Obviously, I mean, we've had, not only have we had the COVID lockdown, we've had protests and riots. I had to move all my studio to get it out of because it's right on Ventura Boulevard, which is where some of the people were rioting. So we've had curfews. We all had to stay at home from like 5 or 6 o'clock. We've had earthquakes. And then this week we've had fires, so it's like Armageddon here in LA right now.
But you say the main thing is you obviously just want to make sure you're keeping safe. So I imagine that you're keeping well.
Yeah, we're here. I'm here locked in with my 3 kids and my wife, and we're pretty much staying in the house. We're taking the dog for a walk here and there, but we're wearing our masks. And you have to, if you go to the supermarket, you have to wear masks. It's pretty much the same as the UK. Very, very early stages of easing of guidelines, but the governor here of Los Angeles actually put in another 3 months lockdown, so I can't see life getting back to normal anytime soon.
So you just have to kind of ride the storm and just whenever life goes back to normality, whatever that will be, you just have to just go with it, really.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can't wait to get back to England so I can start playing live. I mean that's the trouble with my business, is that it's all gathered crowds. So really most shows have been put off till next year. Every day we get some kind of cancellation.
Now, obviously, you're talking about your new music. So let's talk a bit about that, because I mean, you were early stages of working on it when we last spoke. So how's it going? Tell us a bit more about it.
It's going great. We're pretty much there. What's great about this lockdown for me is I've had time to put finishing touches, do a couple of new mixes, even write a few new songs, which I have been doing. Whether they'll make the album or not, I don't know, but it's given us options. And also I've been spending time on looking at the visuals of the album and trying to kind of figure out how it's going to look. So yeah, it's been actually quite productive in that respect. I'm hoping that I'm going to have something out by the end of the year, and then the album will be out early next year.
Because I imagine in normal life, things sometimes can get a bit rushed towards the end, and you just want to get them out. Whereas now you've got that time to perfect it and get it, exactly how you want it.
Yeah, our deadlines have been put back so far that the trouble is it'd be like a double album by the time I'm done.
So yeah, I mean, as I say, going forward, because you sent me a link to one of your songs, which I had to listen to, and it's fantastic. I mean, when you're, doing things like the videos as well, and getting it to the final stages, you must you must just be buzzing and just kind of be itching to
Yeah.
finish it really.
Yeah, this is the exciting bit. I mean, I love the recording process, and that stage is always amazing to me. Walking into a studio with a blank canvas and coming out with this amazing painting, and so I love that side of it. But then this part is like where it kind of starts to have a life of its own, and you get other people involved, and I've got people giving me their ideas for what they hear the song as to see as visually, and so I love that. I like to see other people's ideas or kind of vision for what it might be. So yeah, it's a good fun time to get creative.
And obviously, going forward, when you do get to get back to live, shows and doing things in front of a crowd, I imagine that it will be a strange time, because you obviously want to get back to that, but there's also the kind of the not the fear, but the kind of the thought of, you obviously want your audiences to be safe, and
Yeah.
you want everyone involved to be safe and happy there, really.
Yeah, that's the thing, which is why I think that our business is not going to get back to normal this year. It is going to be a bit odd, having not played really. Most people in this industry will not have played live for probably a good part of a year. It's another reason I wanted to keep doing these shows, because it exercises that muscle, and I'm digging out old songs. I've got like my old stuff here that I'm learning here right now. Yeah, people are requesting old songs from the vault, and I'm like, oh my God, that's got loads of chords in it. I can't fucking remember that, that part of it's been great. But yeah, by the time we actually I'm standing there with my brother on the drums behind me and musicians either side of me and a crowd in front of me. It's going to feel a little bit alien, and yeah, I think people are going to be scared to come out for the first time. Hopefully by then things will have died down enough where it is safe.
And obviously the other thing is that you're able to, like we were talking, you're able to keep in contact with the fans. And I mean, what's the response been like from them through, like the live shows and all that sort of thing?
Fans have really loved it, actually, because I've also brought on some of them, just to come on and say, like I brought on my lovely fan of mine, Gemma, who helps me run my Facebook and has done for years, and all of the kind of hardcore fans, all the people that have stuck with me all this time, know of Gemma, and it was nice to get her on and for her to kind of say hello and to explain why she wants to do all this stuff, and then how much she loves doing it, and that part of it's been really nice. And I think the fan fraternity, as it were, that community, sorry, has actually got stronger, because they're all talking to each other about, if you go onto my Facebook page, you can see they're all talking to each other about what's going on in their lockdowns and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's bringing people together in a lovely way.
Now, one thing I had to mention to you was we, of course, would have seen yourself and Matt Lucas doing the Thank You Baked Potato song. So that must have been quite good fun to film with Matt.
Oh, I love Matt. Matt is a special man. I love him to death. Yes, that was fun. It was really fun. But similar with the magic trickery I told you about earlier on, you can't do it live. So I had to do my part, and then he did his part to me. So we had worked out a script, and we knew what we were going to say and everything else. And then we kind of, with the magic of technology, we pulled it together. But yeah, Matt's lovely. I think he's amazing. And
I was going to say, it's amazing what he's obviously done as well, because he's doing everything for the NHS and all of the fundraising as well. So it's nice that he's been able to do that as well. So, and get so many people involved to really raise the profile of it.
Yeah, completely. Now that's been lovely, and that's obviously one of the reasons I wanted to do it, was because of that. For that reason. Did you see the outtakes, Matt? I did. I put some outtakes on
Yes,
YouTube.
I did see them. They were hilarious. Do you know what? Yeah. Anything he does, he just literally, and even whoever he works with, it's just absolute comedy gold. And I mean, I think so he's continuing to go from strength to strength.
No, he is a national institution. A jewel in the crown. We love Matt. How can you not love Matt Lucas?
Exactly. Now, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. But before we go, is there any messages you'd like to give to the listeners, to anyone in hospital at the moment?
Oh, goodness me. Yeah. Well, I mean, stay safe. I'm so sorry that you guys are having to be in hospital at this crazy time that we're living in. I just hope that you're able to lift your mood with, friends and family, and with your lovely Matt Rowland's radio interviews and music that he's playing. And stay safe and get well soon. Hopefully, you'll be home with your family before you know it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chesney. It's been an absolute pleasure. Of course, keep safe. And yeah, thanks again.
Thanks, Matt. You take care, Matt, and hopefully we'll see you in face to face again at some
Yeah,
point.
hopefully, definitely. Thank you.
All right, take care.